question could be asked, can anyone become Moshiach? So it's a very good question. There are two aspects to the answer. The practical answer is obviously no, but in a certain level, the answer is 100%. What does this mean? According to Jewish belief, the Moshiach is a human being born to man and woman, someone who descends from the King David, from David HaMelech, who will be as holy, as great, as dedicated to Torah observance, the keeping of mitzvahs as David HaMelech, who will influence all the Jewish people to fulfill the Torah. He will fight the wars of Hashem. He will make sure that the world at large doesn't interfere, doesn't try to stop the Jewish people from fulfilling the Torah. And with the strength of his personality and with God's help, he will be able to inspire and influence all the Jewish people to fulfill the Torah, and he will bring them to the land of Israel and build the Holy Temple, where we once again will fulfill all the commandments of the Torah. Such a person obviously he has certain specific qualifications. He has to be from a descendant of King David, but obviously he also has to have great qualities. I mean, we've been in exile for 2,000 years. We have had many leaders, but no one yet had the ability to accomplish what Mashiach will accomplish. Mashiach will be endowed by Hashem with the special ability to accomplish what he needs to accomplish, and this highlights the fact that he himself must be an extraordinary human being who will merit to be the messenger of Hashem to be able to fulfill this mission. That being said, in other words, it's understood that Mashiach is, as the Rambam describes, he's the greatest person that ever lived. In certain areas, he will be even greater than Moshe, Moses, our teacher, the prophet, since he will accomplish even greater things than Moshe did. Moshe brought the Jewish people out of Egypt. Mashiach will make the whole world serve Hashem. So even though obviously only one person can become Mashiach, nevertheless, there is the spark of Mashiach within each Jew. Since Mashiach is a Jewish leader, and every leader, the true idea of leadership is not just that there's one person that has a nice idea that he sells to other people, but it means that there's a part, the soul of a leader is an inclusive soul, a soul that includes within it all the souls of his followers. His destiny and the destiny of his followers are bound up together. That is why they follow him. They feel that he is part of them, and he looks at them as part of himself. So every true leader has an inherent deep connection with his people. The same thing is, since Mashiach will lead the Jewish people, he will lead the world at large. It's understood that the energy of Mashiach is found within every single Jew. And the spark, this is the concept that is explained in the Chassidus and Kabbalah, the idea of the spark of Mashiach, which is found in each person, which that is the ability that he has to bring personal redemption for himself. Which means that even if a person is not able to become the Mashiach who will save the whole world, make the whole world serve Hashem, and make every single Jew fulfill all the commandments of the Torah, nevertheless, each person, first of all, in his own personal life, he can serve Hashem to the best of his ability, and he can go beyond his limitations. Not only he won't be affected by the influence of his natural instincts, which try to hinder his observance, his connection to Hashem, but on the contrary, he will serve Hashem beyond the limitations of his natural means. This is the spirit of Mashiach. This is what Mashiach will do. He'll be able to overcome all the opposition to the service of Hashem in the world, and he will inspire us, give us the ability to serve Hashem in a manner that breaks all previous limitations and boundaries. So a person could experience that himself. Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya that the spark of the soul, the part of the soul which transcends intellect, where a person serves Hashem in a supernatural way, one that completely transcends all intellectual calculations, like a person, we know, even in a physical state, if a person's life is on the line, he will do things that transcend any rationale. Similarly, when a person is connected to Hashem in a supernatural state, in something which affects the very essence of his being, there's no calculations, there's no limitations. It serves Hashem in an ultimate way. So in our own personal life, we can bring personal redemption, personal salvation, which means that a person is able to transcend the constraints, the limitations of his daily life of his instincts, of his addictions, through revealing the spark of Moshiach within him, which that's the essence of his soul, that's connected to Hashem, which transcends all the limitations and all hindrances. But that's regarding a person and himself. The same thing as a person could affect his environment around him. Mashiach, the big Mashiach, will be made up of a bunch of small Mashiachs, which means that Mashiach will be the leader who will inspire us to follow his example. He will inspire everyone to keep Torah, to do mitzvahs, to serve Hashem with true love, with true conviction. We can all be ambassadors. We can all make Mashiach's job easier by doing the same thing. When we encourage people to do the right thing, to serve Hashem, to be connected to Hashem, to Torah, to mitzvahs, to what's right, by gathering people together and bringing them together to a synagogue or a place where they can learn about Hashem and to learn, and by non-Jews as well, to fulfill the 7 Noahide laws, which Mashiach will influence the world at large to fulfill. By doing so, we are in a small way using the spark of Mashiach in a very real way to do the mission of Mashiach in a very small measure. But this is all part of the overall process of bringing Mashiach into the world. So once again, to become the Mashiach, there's only one person that will do it. But the big Mashiach has a spark within every small individual, giving him the capacity to become in a microcosm, a small Mashiach for himself and for his own environment. And by each one of us realizing this potential, we hasten the coming of the ultimate Mashiach and we become speedily. Amen.